Welcome to another Breath of the Wild video, and in today's Breath of the Wild video, we're back in the Korok Forest, putting the Master Sword back so we can take down the final trials of the sword. We'll be running this with only 7 hearts, and as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey. The first couple levels all take place in a lightning storm, so metal weapons like this are actually a trick. If you have them out in the open, they're going to conduct lightning and you're going to get hurt. With that out of the way, let's jump into the trials. You're immediately rushed by a couple stalkoblins, and the one on the left here has a spear, so use a bomb against him and pick that spear up. Just past that tree to the right, you can see a stalkoblin with a bow and arrow, so try to put that tree in between you and the bow and arrow guy while you fight these two. With these stalkoblins, it's not enough to just knock off their head. You need to destroy the head or the body's going to come back and pick the head back up. Once you've taken care of the melee guys, now we can use a bomb to take out the archer behind the tree, which will just pop his head off, but that's why I like the spear. It's got a long reach for poking these heads. And this will be your sign that all the heads are destroyed. Before you leave this area, don't forget to go pick up their weapons. There's a spiked boko bow, there's a spiked boko bat, a spiked boko club, and a spiked boko shield. For the crates in this level, since we don't have an axe, we're going to use our spiked boko bat. Break open the crates, grab the arrows, and we can head on to the next level. On floor 2, you'll see 2 electric keys to the right that can call lightning just like metal weapons, so take care of them from a distance with either a bomb or an arrow. You can see the second one has some sparks shooting off of it. That's how you know it's ready to summon lightning, and that's why we kill them from a distance. There's 3 more enemies in this level, and they're all stalled as Alphoses. They're buried underground inside this skull cave. So what we want to do is go in just enough to activate them, and then hurry and run out and climb this skull before they can come out and chase us down. We're going to wait up on the skull for a few moments. Those stalled as Alphoses are going to fall back asleep, but this time they won't go underground. You can check on them through the eye of the skull. Once the 3 are asleep, you're going to jump through the eye of the skull and go into bullet time. While you're in bullet time, you need to hit all 3 skulls before these guys wake up. Now you can see here as I go for the second one, the screen is shaking strangely. That's because lightning is striking right now. Try to go into bullet time after lightning strikes. It'll make it a little easier. With those guys taken care of, pick up any better weapons, and then we can use the spike boko bat to break open the crates that are in the room to pick up some arrows and some cooking supplies. Remember, the metal weapons you find are going to conduct electricity and call lightning to you, but we can save them for once we're done with the lightning levels. With 2 floors down and 21 left to go, it's time to head to the next level. Welcome to floor 3. Things are going to get a little bit more difficult now. First thing we want to do is head towards those choo-choos. These choo-choos are just like the keys and the metal weapons. We want to take care of them from a distance. With the choo-choos taken care of, we're going to head up into this little tree fort here, but not to collect any treasure. When we get to the edge, there's going to be 3 stalmoblins that show up. So we want to jump off, go into bullet time, and headshot all 3 of them. Two more stall moblins appeared behind us. I'm going to throw a bomb over there. That's going to knock their heads off, and then all 5 of these guys are going to go for them, which gives us a minute to make sure that we're not surrounded. Once one of them grabs a head, they're coming back at us, but at this point we're going to use stasis, hit him in the head with an arrow, and then when stasis fails, he'll be destroyed. Another great way to take care of these guys would be to just back off a bit where they can't see me. They'll forget about me, go to sleep, and then I can sneak up and destroy the head before they even see me. Otherwise, you can use stasis with an arrow like this. Keep an eye out for a dragon bone boko bow. It's twice as good as the one you're using now. With the enemies taken care of, head back up into the tree fort, and now we can collect the treasures. To get the chest out on the other side, you're going to use magnesis to pull it over to you and put it on a ledge you can actually reach. Inside the chest, there's a knight's bow, which we're not going to use while we're in these lightning levels, but we will use in the next ones. The other chest that you can reach in the treehouse without magnesis is going to have a knight's shield. Once you collect these items, we're good to go to the next level. Floor 4 starts with 5 stalkoblins coming at you on horseback just off to the left, so switch over to your rolly bomb, throw it out in the middle, and when they're all surrounding it, detonate it. And while they're confused and blown off their horses, run to that tree. While you're running over to the tree, if you're able to take out one of the cursed heads on your way, that's great. But remember, everyone's trying to regroup and come after you, and we need to climb a tree in the rain, which is a little bit more difficult, so you need to hurry. From the safety of the tree, we can start attacking them, and we're going to use bombs and arrows, and a combination of them. But just remember, when you take off one of their heads, you have to hit the head again in order to kill them, otherwise someone else is just going to pick it up. Once all the stall goblins are taken care of by the tree, hop out and onto one of the steeds, then ride it around to the other side of the arena. We're looking for 3 more of these guys on horseback. Look for the question marks. Now just ride straight into them, and when you're right in the middle of their group and you have aim of a couple of them, jump off your steed and immediately go into bullet time, then get off a couple headshots before they can hit you. If you're not on horseback and you're up against somebody who is, what you can do is use stasis on just the rider, then the horse will walk away and they'll just be hanging out in the air looking like a dummy. That's when you can hit them in the head with an arrow and then chase the head down to kill it. There's also 3 crates that we want to break that are much easier to find with stasis. 2 of them are out in the open together. Those have shock arrows. Oh, well look at that. There's actually 4 crates. 2 of them are underneath the broken down stairs and those contain cooking supplies. Now it's time to gear up and head to the next floor for the first sub-boss fight of the final trials. On floor 5 we're up against the stall knocks, but these guys aren't too bad. Just use stasis and shoot him in the eye with an arrow. That'll cause him to grab his eye and fall to the ground. This is where you can run up and attack him. Sometimes this guy pulls off his own bones and throws them at you. Just dodge him and go back to using stasis. When the stall knock runs out of ribs to throw at you, he'll just pull off his own jaw and throw that. After you've taken half this guy's health, when you shoot him in the eye, it's going to pop out of his head. At this point, you don't want to attack the body part. You instead want to focus on the eyeball that fell out. Give that a couple hits before he comes back, scoops it up, and pops it back in his head. But we can just stick to that same pattern of using stasis and then shooting the eye with an arrow to get it to pop back out. And when it does pop out, try this strategy. Run up and hit it away from the guy. The farther you get the eye away, the more hits you get in until he can catch up and put it back in his head. After this guy has thrown his rib bones and his jawbone at you, he's going to try to pull off his own arm and beat you with it. But luckily his health is low enough here to where we can pop his eye out one last time and defeat him. Stuck inside the stall knocks' bones were 3 different elemental weapons. Make sure you pick these up, they're going to come in very handy. And in the corner of the room you'll see 2 crates that we can break open for some arrows. While I was looking around the level with stasis, I also spotted a treasure chest in the back corner here buried into the ground. Switch over to magnesis and then we can pull the chest out of the ground. The chest has 5 ice arrows in it. After you grab them we can head to the first safe room. The safe rooms are always going to contain a fairy, but if you run up to them they're going to fly away and you'll miss it. You need to crouch down and walk up slowly to collect them. Then we're going to pick up the hardy truffles by the tree, and in the pond we can find 3 armored carp. Across from the pond, we'll find a double axe that we can use to break open metal crates. Then we'll break open the wooden crates for all of our cooking supplies and extra arrows. The next couple levels are covered in lava and everything's on fire, so you're going to use flame breaker boots that you can find in the chest. There's also a knight's bow because now we can use metal weapons, but the most important thing in these chests are these ancient arrows. With one shot, it'll remove any enemy from the game. When it comes to cooking, make sure you cook your hardy truffles separately. Each one is good for a full recovery, so there's no reason to cook them together. Once you're done cooking, we'll head to floor 7. Welcome to Lava Town, also known as Floor 7. When it starts, you need to pull out your bow and arrow quickly so you can take care of the fire choo-choo that's in your way. After that, you're going to want to switch over to your bombs, because those little glowing rocks are actually enemies, and if you get close, they'll come out of the ground. So you want to use your bombs and take care of them from a distance so they can't do any damage to you. And let's not destroy the Octorok right away. I want to show you a little trick you can do with a rusty weapon, and there's one over here on this island. So I'm going to go pick up the claymore and then head back, and I'll show you how we can get the Octorok to fix the weapon. Once you've fixed any rusty weapons, do the same thing with a bomb, but then detonate it to take care of the Octorok. Now we can head to floor 8. When floor 8 starts, you'll notice just off to the left there's a fire Lizalfos, and he's got a bow and arrow, plus he can see you. So we're going to use stasis to freeze him for a moment and give us time to get over here. And then we're going to swap over to that great frost blade we got, because a fire Lizalfos can be killed in one hit of a frost weapon. That's 1 Lizalfos down and 2 more to go. So next we're going to glide out into the middle where this updraft is coming out of a rock. That'll give us the right angle to get to this pillar on the left where there's another fire Lizalfos. But we're going to stay below his eyesight until the last second. That way he doesn't have time to attack us before we get him with the Great Frostblade. On this pillar, you'll see there's a metal crate. We're going to use our double axe to break it open and collect the fire arrows. The last fire Lizalfos can't see us from here yet, but we're going to use stasis because I don't want him shooting me out of the air while I'm trying to fly over to him. Then we can use our Great Frostblade. On this platform, you'll find another metal box, but when you break it open, the cooking ingredients inside will instantly be cooked because of the atmosphere here and how hot it is. Nothing left besides those crates and Lizalfos, so we're going to head back to the first island we started on and head to the next floor. When floor 9 starts, you'll see there's a fire wizrobe off to the left here. We're going to want to stasis him as we run up so he can't summon meteors against us. Then when we get close, we're going to switch over to the Great Frostblade, take him out with one hit since he's a fire enemy, and don't forget to pick up the meteor rod. There's still 3 more enemies, but they're all inside that skull cave. 2 fire Lizalfos and a moblin. We're going to try to lure them out with this bomb. Once that fire Lizalfos comes out to look at the bomb, we've got our Great Frostblade ready so we can take him out with one hit. Even if the Lizalfos is breathing fire on you, that Great Frostblade will still kill him. Save the moblin for last. I think it's easiest to fight him without the Lizalfos and the wizrobes running around. Make sure you pick up the sledgehammer he dropped. We're going to use that on the next sub-boss, and inside this cave you'll find some crates that you can break open for more arrows and cooking supplies that are already cooked. And make sure you heal up before you leave. The next floor is pretty tough. On floor 10, you'll see there's a fire Lizalfos off to the right. We're going to use stasis on him before we fly over there so he can't shoot us out of the air with his bow and arrow. Then we'll hit him with the Great Frostblade to kill him instantly. Now that we're going to go fight a moblin, I'm going to switch over to a more generic weapon that doesn't do any elemental damage. Then we'll take this updraft over to the moblin, switch into bullet time at the last minute, and make sure we get in a few headshots. This is going to make sure that he falls to the ground right away and doesn't attack me. That'll give us time to get in a few more hits while he recovers. Another option with these big boys is using a shock weapon to put him in shock lock for a moment and then switching back to your regular weapon to finish him off. As this is the bigger part of the tower, I'd prefer to fight these next moblins down here, so I'm going to do something to try to get their attention and make them come down to this platform, like smacking this guy in the face with a giant metal box until it breaks. Well, I got both of their attention and that's not what I wanted, but what you can always do if you're standing on that ledge is jump back off of it, get into this updraft, and then we can go back into bullet time, get a few headshots to knock these guys back. Just make sure you're keeping an eye on your stamina as you don't want to lose it and fall into the lava. Now that we're back on the platform with only one moblin, I can stay here and use my shock lock trick of hitting him with a shock weapon and then finishing him off with a more traditional weapon. He's the last guy. After that, the exit will open. Pick up any weapons these guys drop that are better than yours, and there's 3 different crates. One on the top tier of the tower, which has some pre-cooked cooking supplies. In the middle tower, you'll find a crate with some fire arrows, and that crate down there on the lava floor has regular arrows. But most importantly in this level is there's a little chest out in the lava. Find it with magnesis, pull it out, and put it on the ledge here so that you can open it. Inside, you're going to find some more of those highly precious ancient arrows. After that, we can head to the exit and take on the next sub-boss. In floor 11, you're going to want to grab your Great Frostblade and head towards that pile of lava in the middle. That's going to cause the Agnio Talus to wake up. Now we're going to need to cool him down. You can do this with a Great Frostblade or ice arrows if you don't have your Frostblade. Once you've cooled him off with an ice weapon, we can jump up on his back. Then we want to switch over to the sledgehammer because it's time to go to town on this guy. Once we defeat this guy, don't forget to head around the room, break open the crates, and pick up all the extra arrows. Once you're done with that, we can head to the second safe room. This time when we show up in the safe room, there's going to be 2 fairies, so crouch down low and pick them up first. Now we're going to forage around the trees for some mushrooms, and over in this corner there's a hardy radish. We're going to cook that on its own for a full recovery meal that we can use later on. Now we'll break open the crates for some uncooked cooking supplies and some arrows. There's 3 chests in the room. That's where we're going to get the Royal Guard shield for 70 defense, a stone smasher, and a Hylian tunic so you can put a shirt on. You'll also find several spicy peppers and sizzlefin trout. Make sure you cook these into dishes that'll help create a cold resistance, as the next couple levels are all frozen over. Another way you can help improve this cold resistance is simply by equipping a fire weapon like the meteor rod. With that out of the way, let's head into the frost levels. On floor 13, as soon as it starts, we're going to pull out some bombs. There's some lighter colored rocks up ahead. Those are actually little enemies that'll pop out of the ground if we get too close, so we want to use our bombs to blow them up from a distance. Then pull out your arrows and take care of the frost choo-choo off to the left. Immediately after that, head up this hill to the right. Up here, we can get a good vantage point on those 3 boblikins that are left. We're going to be attacking these guys with bombs, because I can roll a bomb all the way down there and they won't notice me, and then when they come up to the bomb, we'll just detonate it and swap over to our other bombs and keep doing this till we take them out. And this plan will work just fine unless one of the guys spots you, which is what happens here. That's what that yellow exclamation mark is. Now we're going to have to deal with one of these guys face to face, which is no problem. Once he gets close, I'm going to give him stasis, shoot him in the face with an arrow, and that knocks him back, so we can just go right back into our bomb assault on these guys, keeping them at a safe distance. The other option we have is using a fire weapon. Hit them with a fire weapon, and then when they're dancing around on fire, you can attack them with a regular weapon to kill them. And then before we leave, make sure you take a look around for some crates we can break open for cooking supplies and arrows. There's also this big frozen ice cube behind where we were doing our bomb assault from. All you need to do is stand next to it with a fire weapon for long enough and the ice cube will melt. Then you can open the chest that's underneath it. Inside the chest, we can pick up some bomb arrows. Now we're ready for the next floor. As soon as you start floor 14, stasis that boblikin before he alerts everyone else. Then pick a good bow so it only takes 1 headshot to take him down. After that, just to the right, you'll find these little peaks you can hide behind. Off in the distance, you'll see there's 2 frost choo-choos. We want to take them out with arrows. You might need to get in a better position for the second one, and you want to try to do this without alerting that Lizalfos of your location. If he does notice you, hurry and take out that frost choo-choo, then retreat. There's a good chance he'll forget about you. If this Lizalfos sees you come at him with a fire weapon, he's going to retreat and dodge your attack. So you want to stasis him, and then when the stasis wears off, you can hit him with the fire weapon. That time it didn't work because that was a sneak strike, but if it's not a sneak strike, they'll die instantly. This treehouse has 3 tiers to it, and there's an enemy on each tier. A boblikin on the lower, boblikin in the middle, and a moblin on top. So if you're careful, you can take them out one at a time without them noticing you. First, we'll do the first tier with a boblikin. We're going to stasis him, then switch to a good arrow, shoot him a couple times, and that'll make him fall quietly. Before you go any further up in the treehouse, retreat down and look for these ice blocks. There's 2 of them. When you melt them, there's going to be prizes, and the first one is a chest with 3 more ancient arrows. We're going to need those. The other ice block you come across, once you melt it down, there's no chest, but there is an updraft underneath it, and we can use this to get to the top tier where the strongest level of moblin there is exists. Now, I don't like to fight these guys. They're tough. This is what I like ancient arrows for. We hit this guy once with an ancient arrow, and he's donezo. Then take that air gust back up to the top platform where the moblin was so we can get a bird's eye view of the boblikin on the next tier below us. We'll go ahead and stasis him from up here, shoot him in the face with a good arrow a few times to make this easy so we don't have to risk losing any of our precious hearts. Now we'll check out the room, pick up any weapons that enemies drop that are better than ours, and use our axe to break open crates for cooking supplies and arrows. After that, we're ready to head to the next floor. When floor 15 starts, you'll notice a wall out in front of you. This wall is going to be your best friend and our home base for when we start any attack against the enemies. We're going to take down that ice wizrobe first, which you can do with 1 fire arrow, but he spotted me, which makes things a little tough. So instead, I'm going to stasis him, shoot him in the face with a regular arrow, and that'll make him fall to the ground. Then when he's recovering, we can swap over to a fire weapon and kill him instantly by touching him. Don't forget to pick up the blizzard rod. Back on our favorite wall at home base, we're going to take out the moblin next, and you'll notice there's an explosive barrel by the pillar. Hit that with a fire arrow and that'll explode. Now we can start attacking the moblin. Make sure you have a good bow for this and you don't need your fire arrows. Back up on our favorite wall, it's time to next take down that camp of boblikins, and there's 3 of them, but the 2 on the outside can be taken out in 1 headshot if you're using a good bow. So jump into bullet time, take them out first, and then use your last couple hits on the guy in the middle. And when we rush this boblikin, I want to set him on fire first, because then he'll dance around and won't be able to shoot his bow at me. I noticed the fire attack wore off, so we're going to switch to a fire weapon and light him back on fire so he keeps dancing. Another fun trick to catching these guys on fire is using a wooden weapon. Then you can start spinning it around, go near this fireplace to catch your weapon on fire, and now your weapon will catch the enemy on fire, making this much easier to defeat. After that, collect any better weapons your enemies dropped and break open these crates for extra supplies before we head to the next floor. On this floor, we're up against a sub-boss fight, which should look pretty familiar. As you get closer, the Frost Talus will reveal itself. Now we want to hit him with a fire weapon, but there's no use hitting him before his life bar shows up. Once you see his health bar, you can attack him with a fire weapon. That's going to melt the ice on his back and make him hit the ground so we can climb up to attack him. Up here, you want to use the Stone Smasher we picked up in the last save room. No safe room for you though, it's time to go fight another sub-boss. On this floor we're up against a Lionel. These guys are really tough, unless of course you have ancient arrows. Then you can just hit him with an ancient arrow and he'll totally disappear. You don't have to do the fight. You don't get any of his weapons, but we're also not dead. But before you leave, look around for this ice block, stand next to it with a fire weapon to melt it. Underneath you'll find a chest. We can pick up some bomb arrows in this chest. Welcome to the final save room, and your reward is that there's 3 fairies here, so crouch down first. There's a fairy off to the left of the exit platform, there's a fairy off to the right of the exit platform, and there's a fairy over by the pond. There's crates in the room as well with cooking supplies and arrows. There's also of course 3 chests in the room, and since it's the last part of the trials, they're going to give you some cool weapons like a royal bow, a royal shield, and a royal broadsword. There's also, as always, mushrooms by the tree and hardy bass in the pond. You can also use your bombs to collect wood by throwing them in between the trees, knocking them down, and then throwing another bomb to break those tree trunks into blocks of wood. And we do need some blocks of wood coming up in these later levels. Well, we don't need them, but I would highly suggest them for a better strategy. When it comes to cooking the hardy bass up, make sure you cook them individually. Each one is good for a full recovery, no reason to cook them together. There's also no other place to cook, so if you were saving anything, you might as well throw it in the pot now to get bigger buffs on your meals. Once you're all set, tell your mama you love her, and then head into the final trial. When floor 19 starts, you need to be careful, because there's guardians all along the perimeter of this place, but they're not active yet, and you don't want to activate them all at once. You want to activate them one at a time. There's one guardian right behind you. Pop him in the eye with an arrow to activate him, and then use up a melee weapon to destroy him. With him down, I'm going to target the next closest guardian and just make my way around the room, but I'm going to hug the wall here so I don't activate any other guardians. This time when I activate the guardian, another guardian activates. I know this because I've got a laser sight on me. If this happens, just put the guardian next to you, in between you and the one trying to shoot you with the laser. Of course, once this guardian dies, you lose your shield against the other guardian's laser. Luckily, a tree works just the same. From the safety of our tree, we're going to activate this other guardian, and then once we're ready to run in and fight, we'll make sure to move him in the position to be the new shield against the other guardian with the laser. Once this guardian is destroyed, you want to go back to making sure that there's a tree blocking the eyesight of any other active guardians in the area. Then when you're ready, you can shoot him in the eye a few times to get closer and attack. Now there's only 2 guardians left, so I'm not too worried about accidentally activating some other ones that are going to shoot me. And if you don't want to use your melee weapons and you have extra arrows, feel free to use your arrows instead, especially if you have a good bow and arrow. After you beat the guardians, but before you leave, use magnesis to find a chest in the ground that has a knight's shield we can take to the next floor. Once you get to floor 20, you're going to notice there's a guardian stalker walking around in the back left-hand side of this arena, so we're going to go to the right of the fountain here using it as cover so we can sneak up on him. You're going to want to head over to the left where the largest tree is, making sure we stay out of the eyesight of that guardian. Then once we climb the tree, we're going to snag his attention, jump off and go into bullet time and shoot him in the eye with an ancient arrow. And it has to be in the eye. Before you leave, look around this fountain for a couple crates. We can break them open for some arrows. After that, we can head over to the exit, onto the next floor, and take on some more guardians. On floor 21, we're up against a different guardian, this time a guardian Skywatcher, but he can only see what his little spotlight shines on, so you should be able to run to this tower and climb it without being seen pretty easily. One of the ways we can take out these guardian Skywatchers is by shooting them in the eye that's shining the spotlight with an ancient arrow. If you can do that, it's an instant kill and they'll fall to the ground and die immediately. The guardians actually have a weak spot on top of them also, so first we're going to climb this tower because there's a chest up here. Then after we get the chest, I'll show you the other weak spot. Inside the chest is 5 bomb arrows. After that, we'll jump off the tower and shoot the guardian in the back with an ancient arrow in his other weak spot. Check out around the base of the tower for some crates and barrels with arrows. After that, we can head off to the next floor to bring down more guardians. When we get to floor 22, we're going to be up against a guardian stalker, a guardian skywatcher, and a guardian turret. So the first thing you want to do is run straight forward to this wall. There's a little door we can slip through, and then we can grab this chest with a golden bow, which is a great option if you don't have a good bow. After that, look for the ladder on your side here and climb it to head up to the next level of the wall, which is going to lead back outside, so you're going to want to be careful as guardians are going to be able to spot you now. First, we're going to take down that flying one. If you see lasers pointed at you, you're not standing in a good spot. Hug a wall. Find a spot where the other guardians can't see you. Then when that guardian skywatcher comes back around and gets close, we want to jump off the back side of the wall so the other guardians can't see us, and then shoot him in the eye with an ancient arrow to bring him down instantly. Next, we want to take down the guardian stalker. So we're trying to get his attention, but we're also trying to stay out of the way of the laser of the guardian turret. Once we have the attention of the stalker, then come climb this wall, switch to your ancient arrows, and get ready for him to come after you. But again, stay out of the way of that guardian turret. When he comes around the corner here, we're going to jump off and go into bullet time, tag him in the eye with an ancient arrow, and he'll be taken care of. Now we can focus on the turret. The turret's going to be on the other side of the wall. Before you go running at him, maybe use stasis so that you have time to make it to one of these other walls where you're safe. Then from these walls, if he's not paying attention to you, you can easily make it to the tower. Now it's time to climb this tower and take down a guardian. There's 2 ways to fight these guys. First, shoot him in the eye with an arrow, and if you see this little laser sight, you need to shoot him in the eye with an arrow. But if there's no laser, you can use a melee weapon. You'll find some barrels in this level with cooking supplies, not that we're going to be cooking anymore. There's some crates with some arrows, and don't forget about that other chest we saw when we were fighting the guardians. You can pick up a pretty good shield in here. Now before we head to the last level, let's make sure we have our ancient arrows equipped. Now let's go! When the final level starts, you've already been spotted, so you need to hurry. Go into your inventory, grab 5 pieces of wood. Now drop the bundles of wood on the ground quickly, pull out a fire weapon, and light them all on fire. Hurry and jump into the fire and use its updraft to escape from the arrows that the Lionel is shooting at you. The sooner you can hit him with an ancient arrow, the better, because he is not going to stop shooting. If you get in a jam though, think about using your blizzard rod. It can freeze a lot of the horses and boblicans around you so you have time to escape. After you defeat the Lionel, we need to head to that guardian turret, and you need to hurry because the guardian turret's shooting at you, so use buildings for cover if you can, and we need to hurry because there's a bunch of boblicans on horseback looking for you. Now to take down this guardian, we're just going to shoot him in the eye with an ancient arrow, and it turns out I have 2 ancient arrows, so I guess I could have taken care of the last guardian turret this way also. Now all we have to do is kill the boblicans. As far as the boblicans go, I've been saving my bomb arrows for just this moment, and don't worry everyone, horses don't take damage from bombs, they'll be just fine. If you need more bomb arrows, this is the place to get them. That chest in the corner has 5 more we can use against these guys. Now collect all the weapons, crates, and... Oh no, don't do any of that. We beat the final trials. Let's just go get the Master Sword. And that, my friends, is how Link takes down the final trials and doubles the power of the Master Sword. Thanks for sticking with us through these videos. If there's any other Zelda videos you want to see, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any other strategies, tips, or suggestions for the trials, we want to hear those too. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey.